You know, sometimes you encounter a story or maybe a piece of art, and it doesn't just give you easy answers.
Right.
It sort of settles inside you, asking these questions that really resonate, makes you stop and actually look at your own life.
Exactly. They become less like stories and more like mirrors, reflecting something back at us.
And that feeling, that kind of reflection sparked by art. That's exactly where we're headed today. We're doing a deep dive into excerpts from a piece called Waiting for Godot and the Art of Meaning.
Yeah, this source focuses on Samuel Beckett's really famous play, Waiting for Godot, which, let's be honest, is a play that's left a lot of people scratching their heads since it first came out.
Oh, definitely. It can feel confusing, maybe even a bit bleak.
It can, on the surface. But this writer argues pretty compellingly, I think, that underneath all that, there's this really profound emotional core, a search for meaning that speaks right to, well, being human.
And the source even starts by acknowledging recent tragedies, offering comfort. It sets this tone, you know, exploring tough themes, but through this lens of trying to find hope and significance.
It really reframes the play's seemingly empty landscape. It sees it as, like, fertile ground for understanding resilience, finding purpose.
So our mission for this deep dive is to unpack what this source offers about waiting, about that search for meaning we all seem to be on, using the play and the source's own reflections to guide us. It feels like it could be quite enlightening.
Okay, so let's start with what makes Godot so fascinating, according to the source anyway. It said it offers, well, basically no clear answers.
Right. Beckett deliberately built in ambiguity, didn't he?
He really did. We never find out exactly who or what Godot is, or even really why Vladimir and Estragon are waiting. Is Godot a person, an event?
Yeah.
Is it, like, salvation or success?
We just don't know.
And that's the genius of it, isn't it? Since, 1953? That lack of a clear answer hasn't weakened the play. It's actually fueled all this interpretation. It forces us, the audience, to ask ourselves, okay, what am I waiting for in my life? And how does that waiting right now shape how I exist?
So the play stops being just about them, and suddenly it's a question aimed right at you. What's your Godot?
And the setting itself is so stark. Just Vladimir and Estragon waiting by this lonely bare tree, a desolate spot.
Yeah, and they're just trying to fill the time, aren't they? Chatting, bickering, moments of despair, these little bursts of action. The source points out their waiting isn't totally passive, even if it feels that way to them.
Right. And because Godot stays undefined, maybe it's hope, maybe success, maybe love, maybe death, maybe even God, the play becomes this incredible mirror. It reflects whatever we're pinning our hopes on, whatever future thing we're waiting for.
The source actually shares a really moving personal story here. The writer talks about how they used to wait for, external stuff. Validation. Awards, recognition, money, believing that better days were somewhere out there, something you had to find or be given.
But then a pretty serious accident happened, a life-changing one.
Yeah.
And it just shifted everything.
Yeah.
It led to this powerful realization, this kind of awakening, that those better days, they aren't necessarily out there waiting for you. There's something you have to actively create right now, in the present.
That's such a profound shift, isn't it? And the source really boils it down.
Yeah.
Waiting doesn't have to mean you're stuck or just idle.
Yeah.
It's really about finding ways to make the present moment meaningful, even while you're waiting for something else. It's about turning that waiting time into something valuable, something significant.
And this brings us right back to that question the source wants us to ask ourselves. What is your Godot? Like, specifically, what are you waiting for right now? A promotion, maybe? Meeting someone? Finishing a big project? Resolving some issue?
Yeah, really try and picture that specific thing and then think about it. How does anticipating that, being in that state of waiting, how does it actually influence your day-to-day life? Are you fully present, or is the waiting kind of casting a shadow over everything?
The characters in the play, they complain constantly about time. How slowly it moves, how they need to pass it.
Oh yeah, they're always trying to kill time. But then there's that line from Pozzo, the one the source highlights. It's so arresting. Stop talking about time. We are born, we die. In a moment. Isn't that enough?
Wow. Yeah, the source writer says that line just hit them with incredible force. And they connect it to thinking about time differently. Not just as this straight line flowing past, but almost like a frozen river, where the past, present, and future all kind of exist together simultaneously.
That's a fascinating way to think about it.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it really underscores how vital the present moment is. Because if you see it that way, the present contains everything echoes of the past, seeds of the future.
Yeah.
It's where meaning actually happens. It's real.
It makes me think immediately of the example the source uses. Nelson Mandela.
Right?
He waited 27 years in prison, waiting for freedom.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an unimaginable length of time to wait. But his waiting wasn't just endured. It was purposeful, wasn't it? He studied, he wrote, he organized, he became this global symbol. While he was waiting, he was actively building meaning in the incredibly difficult present.
His story perfectly embodies the question the source raises for all of us. Are we just letting time drift by meaninglessly while we wait for our Godot? Or are we actively creating meaning within that waiting period?
And despite everything, the bleakness, the complaining, Vladimir and Estragon, they don't leave. They keep coming back. They keep waiting. The source calls this perseverance both tragic and somehow inspiring.
It is. It's like this stubborn flicker of hope, maybe?
Yeah.
Or faith, even if they can't really name it. The source compares it to J.K. Rowling.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, facing rejection after rejection for Harry Potter. She was waiting for her break, sure, but she didn't stop writing. Her action fueled her hope, you know?
That really highlights the crucial balance the source talks about, the balance between hope and, well, doing something, action.
Exactly. Waiting, seen this way, isn't about being static. It's actually a dynamic process. It's moving forward with expectation, maybe even excitement. It's an active thing, not passive.
Mm-hmm.
And that leads to another really insightful question from the source, asking you to think about how you actually experience waiting. How do you inhabit that state?
Like, are you waiting passively? Maybe like a camel, just patiently bearing it?
Or maybe intensely, like a coiled lion ready to pounce.
Yeah.
Or could you find a way to wait with excitement, like a child waiting for Christmas morning?
That's a great analogy. The source suggests that Beckett, through his characters, is basically challenging you to choose how you wait. What kind of attitude, what posture are you going to take while you're anticipating something?
Now, waiting for Godot often gets filed under absurdist theater.
Yeah.
You can see why, especially thinking about when Beckett wrote it right after World War II.
Right, a time of huge devastation, uncertainty, when a whole lot of people were literally waiting for peace, for things to be rebuilt, for some kind of meaning to emerge from the chaos.
It's easy to read the play as being about, the ultimate meaninglessness of it all. But this is where the source offers a really powerful, almost transformative perspective.
Okay.
It argues the play is not nihilistic, that deep down its message is actually hopeful.
Hopeful? How so?
It suggests that even if the world seems chaotic, maybe even absurd, we humans have this extraordinary ability to create meaning. Through our choices, our conversations, just our simple persistence in being here.
That makes me think of the Anne Frank example the source brings up.
Exactly. Living through unimaginable horror, hiding, waiting for liberation that might never come.
Mm-hmm.
And in that terrifying state of waiting, what did she do? She wrote her diary. That act wasn't just passing time. It was creating meaning, a testament to the human spirit that's inspired millions.
Yeah.
It gives us this incredible insight.
Her story really echoes that idea, doesn't it? That even inside the waiting, profound meaning can be found, can be forged.
It ties back so perfectly to the source writer's own story, too. Remember, before the accident, waiting for external approval felt like a burden, something that stole joy from the present.
Yeah.
But that shift, that change in perspective, it turned everything around. Waiting went from being anxiety-ridden to something more like that child waiting for Christmas. Excitement.
So now waiting for, say, creative inspiration isn't passive for the writer. It's active. It means filling life with reading, exploring, engaging with the world, waiting with life.
Yes. The source discovered that waiting doesn't have to be this empty pit of despair. It can actually be a source of energy, a time for growth, for making meaning, like transforming the waiting room into a workshop.
Wow, that's a really powerful way to reframe it, turning the waiting room into a workshop. I like that.
So let's maybe pull together some of those core questions the source leaves us with. Think of these as prompts for you, for your own reflection.
Okay, first, what is your Godot? Is it something really clear and concrete, or maybe more of an abstract hope, a state you want to reach?
And then, how do you strike that balance between waiting patiently and taking meaningful action? When you're waiting, do you feel like you're actually moving towards your Godot? Or just stuck, standing still?
Does waiting tend to bring up anxiety for you, or could you cultivate more of that feeling the source describes, that sense of excitement or positive anticipation?
And maybe the biggest one, how can you actively make your present moment more meaningful, infuse it with purpose, even while you're looking towards or waiting for something in the future?
The source gives us a few more really compelling examples of people who did just that. People who created meaning while waiting.
Yeah, like Malala Yousafzai, waiting for a world where all girls can learn freely. She didn't just wait passively, did she?
No, absolutely not.
She actively fought for it, using her voice, her writing. She became this global symbol while waiting for that future reality.
Or Stephen Hawking. Despite profound physical challenges, he patiently waited, in a sense, to unlock the universe's secrets.
Right. His waiting wasn't idle. It was this intense, relentless intellectual pursuit, creating meaning through discovery within his situation.
And think about the Apollo 11 astronauts, all those years of training, of waiting. It wasn't empty time, was it?
Not at all. It was prepared waiting, purposeful waiting that led to something monumental.
And finally, the source mentions Viktor Frankl, enduring unimaginable suffering in a Nazi concentration camp, waiting for freedom.
And he found meaning not just by hoping the war would end, but by choosing his attitude, by helping others, by observing the human spirit's ability to find purpose, even in the absolute depths of imposed waiting.
His book, Man's Search for Meaning, resonates so strongly with these themes, doesn't it? A powerful testament to creating meaning no matter what.
All these stories, they really drive home the source's core idea. Waiting isn't just something to passively get through. It's an active opportunity, a space where meaning can be built, where purpose can be discovered, right here in the present.
It truly is about transforming the state of waiting itself into a meaningful part of your life's journey, a source of inner strength, and perhaps even enlightenment.
So we've journeyed through this source material, using Waiting for Godot as our rather enigmatic guide, exploring these really deep questions about waiting and our search for meaning.
And the play, well, it famously doesn't wrap things up neatly with answers, but as the source powerfully suggests, it leaves us with these vital, lingering questions about our own lives, our hopes, how we use our time.
Yeah, and I think the most potent insight we've pulled from this source is that potential we all have. The potential to shift waiting from being this passive, maybe even despairing state into an active process, a process of finding or, crucially, creating meaning and value in the here and now. Regardless of what comes next or whether Godot ever shows up.
It's a truly encouraging thought, isn't it? It prompts you to keep thinking about what you might be waiting for, sure, but maybe more importantly, how you can make this period of waiting rich, purposeful, and deeply valuable in itself. It's about finding that significance within the process.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up this deep dive, maybe here's a final thought to carry with you, something to really ponder. If waiting isn't just passive, if it's truly an active opportunity to build meaning and purpose, as this source compellingly argues, what are you choosing to create in the space between where you are right now and where you hope to be? What meaning are you building today?